Hi guys, Bleachedpc here. It's about almost 1:30 in the morning AM where I am. Probably should be recording this now. Probably could have waited till tomorrow, but I just thought I'd talk. I'm watching Thundercats of all things and a lot of anime. I just want to talk about my experiences, what I've been doing with YouTube and stuff that interests me. Now, years ago, I collected wrestling figures and toys. I got hair in my mouth. I was big time into the wrestling. So that kind of come to a halt. When I started getting into anime and collected manga, my friend used to bring over his Dragon Ball Z tapes and stuff when we were in high school. We watched them together. Dragon Ball Z was really the first anime I got into, and then about 5 years later, he moved away. I haven't seen him. I started reading manga from the local library. Now, years and years ago, the libraries had frowned upon on comic books, but I thought was cool that they were getting them there. And my local library would order them from other libraries in the area to get them and read them. And it's a good thing to read manga comics before the libraries and stuff to make sure you like them before you buy them, so you can save your money and get actual manga you want. And then, right around that time, I started getting into computers. My mother got one from work, and I started monkeying with it and learning on it. We already had computers before, but this was like one that was at work, like a scrap one, basically, that someone brought in the sell or something. So I just got used to it. I put the operating system learned, and I eventually started pulling computers and stuff out of the trash and working on them. Honestly, was going to give computer to a friend free that I did for him. I still got it on my shelf. It's an old Windows XP computer. And eventually, when I got good at it, I tried building my first computer. Now I hooked up the wiring wrong. I wound up frying the motherboard. Thankfully, it was warranted. The Asus company took it back and fixed it for me. I basically blew the BIOS chip. Happened again a second time too, and they fixed it for me. But that was a different story because the power supply did something to it. That motherboard I think is currently dead now. It was in a different computer. I think it was in that computer that I was going to shoot that video of that never came to be because I fried the motherboard by putting a chip in it that CPU that wasn't compatible, which I thought it was. I should have done some more checking. So, with that being said, I basically got another motherboard, a Newegg. I got my first system together. I still run that system, and it used to do really big hard drives, like 15 gigabyte hard drives, like basically to just store photos and stuff on. Other stuff I won't mention. I have a good idea what it is. And then I got to the point where I wanted to do less gigabyte hard drives because it takes up a lot of space, and the bigger hard drives wind up just breaking and dying. And my first build that I got downstairs is still currently run has a hard drive in it. I pulled out of the neighbor's trash. I was intentionally trying to fix that computer they threw out. Rain got into it, and if you get a wet computer, it's good to let it dry out. It still might work. Well, knowing me, I didn't let it dry out. The motherboard is fried. So I said, what the heck, I'll try it in the computer. My first build with the hard drive just died. And the hard drive, funny thing was, I heard it clicking, and I heard it breaking. And I just finished it off with a hammer that I had nearby. Actually, no, it wasn't really a hammer. It was actually my fist, come to think of it. I just kind of put out of its misery with my fist, and I was kind of swearing too because I was mad because I paid quite a bit for that hard drive. So I said, what the heck, I'll try the one I got out of the trash. And I put the operating system on it. The hard drive one's fine. I've been running that hard drive like that for about a year now. Then came that snapper thing. I started making quite a bit of videos about the snapper, that riding mower I had. I got that from my neighbor. My uncle had one when I was young, and it just reminded me of my uncle. Of all things, he passed away cutting grass for a hotel he worked at. He really should have been working. He had heart trouble. He really should have been outside mowing or doing any kind of mowing at all. You really should have mow a lawn if you have heart trouble, and or really shovel snow for that matter, unless you're like sitting on a tractor or something. You can still get sick if you're sweating. So the snapper reminded me of my childhood. My friend got that free. My neighbor, won't tell you too much, but he got it with the intention of putting the tires on the John Deere, like that rear engine John Deere you saw in the video. He has one like that. So he was going to throw it on the truck. I caught him on a good day. I gave him 35 bucks for it. Now, it worked fine when I got it. It ran and drove and everything. And I believe that I snapped the chain in the transmission because I was flying around on it like it was a go-kart or something. And you're not supposed to do that with them. Plus, it probably had a dry transmission. It sat for a while and had like no grease in it. So there's a video on YouTube. It got 8,000 views. I tried to put it back together best as I could. It still kept snapping. So I think the snapper, I don't think it could fix the transmission. It's going to I'm either going to put the engine on a different one or take a rear end off a different one and put it on there. I have no plans to scrap the snapper, so I'll try to fix it in the future. Then shortly, my neighbor picked up the Simplicity. I drooled over that thing for a year. He finally sold it to me. Now, I'm not really a lawnmower mechanic. I have taught myself how to build computers. Never really took any computer courses to learn on it. It just came naturally. So the Simplicity tractor came. I started mucking with that last year. Kind of ran out of time. He got it about a year ago. Well, I'm getting kind of tired, guys. I gotta quit talking. But I'm not really a mechanic or anything. I just do this. The tractor's kind of like a hobby. I sell more at the computers. So what else? So I think the tractors are just a hobby. So my neighbor basically sold it. Scrap tractors. Normally you don't pay nothing for a scrap tractor more than $30. Now some of these scrap guys, they get the tractors free. Now the scrap price you're paying is a little bit above scrap, a little bit more than what they would get at a scrap yard sometimes. 30 is good. You're basically paying for their time, their gas, and their time for putting it and loading it on the truck and bringing it where they got it. Other tractors will cost more, like Sears Suburbans and stuff, like the older stuff will cost upwards of $100 to $200, depending on what you pick up. You really have to look at stuff when you go over it, make sure it's feasible to fix if you get into it. Like it's worth fixing. You really have to look at it, and you have to do some major studying on what you're doing and what you're trying to do, and it's really good to like ask people for help too. I don't know what else am I interested in. I guess that's about it. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna finish up my manga and go to bed. You guys take care. Have a good night. Bye.